Listen to me. Negative thinking is the greatest enemy you will ever face. It is not out there in the world. It is not your competition. It is not your circumstances. It is inside your own head. That little voice that whispers, "You can't do it. You're not good enough. You'll fail." That voice is the real opponent, and if you don't crush it, it will crush you. When you wake up in the morning, you have two choices: to believe in the power inside you, or to believe in the lies of negativity. And every single day, it's a fight. But let me tell you this: if you want to build strength, if you want to build success, if you want to build the life you dream about, then you must kill that negative thinking. You cannot negotiate with it. You cannot give it space. You must destroy it. How do you do it? You replace it. You train your mind the same way you train your body. You feed it with positive thoughts, with powerful actions, with unstoppable habits. You stop saying, "I can't," and you start saying, "I will." You stop focusing on problems and you focus on solutions. You stop imagining failure and you picture victory. Every time negativity tries to creep in, you fight it back with action. You don't sit and complain, you get up and move. You don't wait for confidence, you build it by doing. You don't give energy to doubt, you give energy to progress. Remember this: champions are not born with positive thinking, they build it. They choose it, they practice it every single day until it becomes who they are. And that's what you must do. Kill your negative thinking, replace it with discipline, replace it with belief, replace it with action. Because once you control your mind, you control your life. Crush the voice of doubt before it crushes you. Doubt is the enemy that lives inside you, and it's more dangerous than any obstacle outside. The world can push against you. People can tell you that you're not capable. Circumstances can make things difficult. But none of that is as powerful as the voice that whispers inside your own head. That voice is subtle, but it's poisonous. It tells you to play small. It tells you to stay safe. It tells you to give up before you even try. And if you listen to it, if you give it power, then you are already defeated before the battle even begins. This is why crushing that voice of doubt is the first step to becoming unstoppable. You cannot allow hesitation, fear, or insecurity to dictate the path of your life. When the voice says you are not ready, you must shout back louder that you are. When the voice says you will fail, you must answer with action. When the voice says you don't have what it takes, you must prove it wrong by moving forward, step by step, without hesitation. Doubt thrives in silence and inaction. It grows stronger the more you feed it with excuses. The moment you pause, the moment you hesitate, doubt gains ground. The only way to crush it is to act in spite of it. Action is the weapon that destroys doubt. You don't need to feel confident to take action. Confidence comes from action itself. Every time you move forward when doubt tells you not to, you weaken its power. Every time you push beyond fear, you remind yourself who is really in control. And that is how you crush it, not by waiting for the voice to disappear, but by refusing to let it control you. The voice of doubt is clever. It will disguise itself as logic, as caution, as practicality. It will tell you that waiting makes sense, that holding back is smart, that now is not the right time. But understand this: the voice is not here to protect you, it is here to paralyze you. It doesn't want you to take risks, it doesn't want you to grow, it doesn't want you to change. Because change requires discomfort, and doubt feeds off comfort. If you let it, doubt will trap you in a small life where you never discover your potential, where you never take the chances that could transform your future. Crushing the voice of doubt means refusing to let it trick you with its false logic. It means choosing courage over comfort every single time. The battlefield is your mind. Every single day when you wake up, that voice will be waiting. Some days it will whisper, other days it will scream, but it's always there, waiting for you to give in. And you must build the habit of answering it with power. Tell yourself, "I am stronger than this voice." Tell yourself, "I will not let fear control my choices." Tell yourself, "I will take the step forward even if I don't feel ready." This is not about ignoring doubt, it's about overpowering it. The voice will exist, but it will not win if you don't let it. And the more you practice this, the weaker the voice becomes. Think about the people who achieve greatness. Do you believe they never heard doubt? Of course they did. Every great achiever, every champion, every success story has felt that voice telling them to quit, telling them they are not enough. The difference is that they did not let it control them. They felt it, and they moved anyway. They acted while being scared. They kept going while being uncertain. And with every step forward, they crushed the voice of doubt a little more. That is the key. It's not about eliminating doubt completely. It's about never giving it control of your actions. Doubt is loudest when you are on the edge of growth. Whenever you are about to break into new territory, whenever you are about to rise to a higher level, that voice will try harder to stop you. It will sense that you are stepping into the unknown, and it will scream to pull you back into the familiar. This is the critical moment. If you allow it to win here, you will stay stuck where you are. But if you fight it, if you push through despite the fear, you break through to the next level of your life. That's how growth works. It demands that you face the voice and crush it, again and again, until it no longer holds you. You must learn to use doubt as fuel. When you hear that voice, don't shrink. Lean into it. Let it remind you that you are stepping into something important. Let it remind you that you are going beyond your comfort zone. Let it remind you that this is exactly where transformation happens. And then use that energy to attack harder, to move faster, to act bolder. Doubt wants to stop you, so the very presence of doubt means you are on the right path. If you are not doing something meaningful, doubt would stay silent. So when it speaks, take it as proof that you are chasing something valuable, and then crush it by refusing to stop. This is not a one-time fight. Crushing doubt is a daily battle. You will face it every time you aim higher, every time you demand more of yourself, every time you set a goal that challenges who you are. But with each victory, you build strength. You build resilience. You build the mindset of a warrior who cannot be defeated by an inner voice. Over time, that voice gets quieter, and your belief gets louder. You start to trust yourself more. You start to back your decisions more. You start to live with power instead of hesitation. That is what happens when you refuse to let doubt win. And here is the truth. If you don't crush the voice of doubt, it will crush you. It will steal your potential. It will keep you stuck in the same place year after year. It will convince you that average is all you can be. And that is the greatest tragedy of all. Not that you failed, but that you never even tried because you let doubt control you. That is why you must fight. That is why you must answer that voice with strength. That is why you must crush it before it crushes you. Train your mind like you train your body. Just like muscles don't grow without resistance, your mind doesn't get stronger without discipline. If you want to achieve greatness, you can't let your mind stay weak, filled with excuses and distractions. You must treat it as the most powerful muscle you have. When you go to the gym, you lift weight after weight, pushing through pain, breaking down your muscles so they can rebuild stronger. Your mind requires the same process. You have to challenge it, stretch it, put it under pressure, and feed it with the right fuel so it becomes sharper, tougher, and more resilient. Training your mind begins with what you feed it. Just like you cannot expect your body to grow strong by eating junk food, you cannot expect your mind to grow strong by feeding it negativity. If all you consume is fear, doubt, gossip, and distractions, your mind becomes weak. It becomes soft, but if you feed it positivity, knowledge, vision, and discipline, it grows stronger every single day. Every book you read, every inspiring thought you focus on, every lesson you learn is like lifting another weight for your mind. What you feed your brain becomes your mental diet, and that diet determines the strength of your mindset. But feeding it is not enough. You must also train it through repetition. You don't get strong by lifting weights once, and you don't build a powerful mindset by thinking positive thoughts once. Training your mind is daily, just like training your body. Every morning when you wake up, you must choose the thoughts that push you forward instead of the ones that hold you back. You must practice self-talk that builds confidence instead of tearing it down. You must set goals and focus your attention on them, no matter what distractions try to pull you away. The more you repeat this discipline, the more natural it becomes. Soon, just like your body remembers the movements in the gym, your mind will remember the patterns of strength and clarity. Training your mind also means putting it under stress, just like your muscles. When you lift heavy, your body struggles, it shakes, it feels the burn, but that burn is growth. The same applies to your mind. When you face challenges, setbacks, failures, and difficulties, your mind is under stress. Most people run from that pressure, but champions understand it's the only way to build mental strength. Every time you go through a struggle and refuse to quit, your mind becomes tougher. Every time you fail and stand back up, your mental endurance grows. Every time you step into something uncomfortable and don't back down, you add another layer of steel to your mindset. The struggle is not there to break you, it's there to build you. You must also train your focus. In the gym, you don't look around at everyone else. You concentrate on your set, your weight, your form. The same discipline applies to your mind. Focus is a skill, and most people never train it. They let their attention scatter across 1,000 distractions, social media, negativity, other people's opinions. But if you want to build a strong mind, you must lock in. You must learn how to silence the noise, shut out the distractions, and place your energy where it matters. When you train your focus, your productivity rises, your creativity sharpens, and your ability to execute becomes unstoppable. Another part of training your mind is setting routines. The body grows when you stick to consistent workouts, and the mind grows when you stick to consistent discipline. Meditation, journaling, visualization, goal setting, affirmations. These are workouts for your brain. They are not just motivational gimmicks. They are exercises that strengthen the pathways of your thoughts. They condition your mind to operate at a higher level, just like a bodybuilder conditions his muscles through disciplined practice. If you commit to these routines, you are literally training your mind to think like a champion every single day. You also need to embrace patience. When you go to the gym, you don't see results overnight. You don't lift once and wake up the next day with massive muscles. Growth is slow, steady, and earned over time. The same is true with your mind. You won't destroy negative thinking in a day. You won't build unshakable confidence after one motivational speech. It takes time. It takes persistence. You have to show up every day and train, even on the days you don't feel like it. That's how real mental strength is built, not by waiting for motivation, but by building discipline. A strong mind is forged in consistency. The people who fail are not weak, they are inconsistent. They train for a few days, then stop. They commit to a goal for a week, then give up when it gets hard. That is like going to the gym once a month and expecting results. It doesn't work. You have to keep showing up, keep training, keep pushing, no matter how slow the progress feels. Because over time, the results will show, your mindset will shift, your habits will strengthen, your belief in yourself will grow until it becomes unshakable. Training your mind also requires you to eliminate weakness. Just as you would cut out bad habits in your diet if you want to get fit, you must cut out the habits that weaken your mind. Stop complaining, stop making excuses, stop blaming others. These are mental junk foods that destroy your strength. Replace them with responsibility, accountability, and problem solving. Weak habits produce a weak mind. Strong habits produce a strong mind. Every choice you make is either strengthening you or weakening you. When your body gets strong, you start to notice it. You feel more energy, more power, more capability. The same thing happens with your mind. As you train it, you'll notice yourself handling stress differently, bouncing back from setbacks faster, staying focused when others get distracted. You'll see yourself staying calm under pressure, making decisions with confidence, and stepping into challenges without fear. This is the reward of training your mind. It's not just about thinking positive, it's about becoming unbreakable. In life, most people never train their mind. They let it run wild, undisciplined, controlled by emotions, fear, and negativity. That's why they stay stuck. But you have the choice to be different. You can decide to train your mind the same way you train your body, with discipline, repetition, and relentless effort. And just like a weak body can become strong through consistent training, a weak mind can become powerful through daily practice. The key is to treat your mental strength as seriously as your physical strength, because your mind is the ultimate weapon. If it is weak, everything else collapses. If it is strong, nothing can stop you. Replace "I can't" with "I will." Those two words are the difference between living small and living powerful. Every time you say "I can't," you chain yourself to limitation. You build walls around your potential before you've even tested what's possible. "I can't" is the language of weakness, the excuse that kills dreams before they even start. But when you replace it with "I will," everything shifts. "I will" is the language of power, of certainty, of decision. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't wait for conditions to be easy. It declares the outcome before the work is even done, and then it forces you to rise to meet that declaration. Think about the times you've said "I can't." Maybe you told yourself you can't wake up early, you can't achieve a goal, you can't take a risk, you can't overcome a challenge. Each time you spoke those words, you weakened your own belief. You convinced yourself that failure was the only outcome, so you never even tried with full strength. That's how people stay stuck for years, by repeating "I can't" until it becomes their reality. The truth is, "I can't" is rarely true. Most of the time, it really means "I don't want to," "I don't believe I can," or "I'm afraid to fail." And those are not reasons to quit, they are signals to push harder. Now think about the power of "I will." When you say "I will," you shut the door on hesitation. You make a commitment to yourself, and once you commit, your actions align with your words. "I will" forces you to look for solutions instead of excuses. If you say, "I will build this," your brain starts searching for the path, the strategy, the actions required to make it happen. If you say, "I will overcome this," you stop looking at the obstacles as reasons to quit and start looking at them as challenges to conquer. "I will" transforms doubt into determination. Language shapes belief, and belief shapes action. The difference between "I can't" and "I will" is not just words, it is identity. "I can't" identifies you as a victim of your circumstances, powerless and controlled by limitations. "I will" identifies you as a creator of your destiny, powerful and in control of your choices. Every time you speak "I will," you strengthen the identity of a fighter, a doer, a champion. And identity is everything, because you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. To replace "I can't" with "I will," you must first catch yourself in the moment. Most people say "I can't" automatically without even thinking. It becomes a habit. You must develop awareness. The next time you hear yourself say those words, stop and challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just fear talking? Is it just laziness trying to control me? Then flip it. Replace the sentence immediately with "I will." Even if you don't fully believe it yet, say it anyway. Words are powerful, and repetition carves them into your mind. The more you speak "I will," the more you start to believe it, and once you believe it, your actions will follow. There's another key. "I will" doesn't mean it will be easy. It doesn't mean it will happen overnight. It doesn't mean you won't fail along the way. "I will" is not a guarantee of instant success. It's a declaration of relentless persistence. It means you are willing to face failure again and again until you succeed. It means you are willing to push through discomfort, pain, and doubt until the job is done. "I can't" gives you an excuse to quit. "I will" gives you a reason to keep going no matter what happens. When you start living with "I will," your confidence grows. Each time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you can trust your own word. Confidence is not built by waiting to feel good about yourself. It is built by doing the things you said you would do. If you wake up every morning and live out "I will," soon you won't even need to think about it. It becomes your automatic response. You condition your mind to see challenges and say, "I will handle this," instead of shrinking back into excuses. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who never had fear. They are the ones who looked at fear and said, I will do it anyway. They didn't say, I can't start this business because I don't have resources. They said, I will find a way. They didn't say, I can't compete because others are stronger. They said, I will outwork them. They didn't say, I can't recover from failure. They said, I will rise again. And because they lived with that language of certainty, they trained their minds to believe in possibilities instead of limitations. This shift in language also changes the way others see you. People can sense the difference between someone who doubts themselves and someone who speaks with conviction. When you say, I can't, you project weakness. When you say, I will, you project strength, and strength attracts respect, opportunity, and support. Leaders speak in the language of I will. They inspire others to believe because their certainty is contagious. If you want to be a leader in your own life, you must start with your words. Replacing I can't with I will is also about ownership. I can't blames circumstances, luck, or external forces. It says it's not in my control. But I will takes full responsibility. It says no matter the circumstances, I will find a way to move forward. Ownership gives you power because when you take responsibility, you also take control of the outcome. Excuses remove your power. Ownership restores it. It is important to understand that I can't will always try to come back. Doubt doesn't disappear forever. It will sneak into your mind when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you face a setback. That's why you must build the discipline of instantly replacing it. It's like a reflex. The moment you hear it, you strike it down with I will. Over time, the reflex becomes stronger until doubt barely has room to breathe. You are training your mind to automatically reject weakness and embrace strength. Imagine your life 1 year from now if you lived by I can't. You would still be stuck in the same place, still dreaming but never doing, still waiting for confidence that never comes. Now imagine your life 1 year from now if you lived by I will. You would have taken steps. You would have built momentum. You would have grown stronger with every challenge you faced. The gap between those two futures is massive, and the only difference is the words you choose to speak today. I can't is the language of failure. I will is the language of victory. If you want to win in life, in your goals, in your dreams, you must erase those two words from your vocabulary and replace them with the power of commitment. Say it with strength, say it with certainty, say it with belief, because when you decide I will, you give yourself no choice but to rise to the challenge. Fight negativity with relentless action. Negativity is like a disease that spreads if you sit still and let it consume you. The longer you allow negative thoughts to circle in your head, the stronger they become, the more control they take over your decisions, your mood, and your life. Action is the antidote. The moment you move, the moment you step forward, the moment you take even the smallest step toward progress, the grip of negativity begins to weaken. You can't think your way out of negative energy. You must act your way out. Action breaks the cycle of doubt, of fear, of hesitation. It transforms heavy thoughts into movement, and movement creates momentum, and momentum creates power. Negativity thrives in stillness. When you sit idle, you give your mind space to wander, and it often wanders into fear, regret, or worry about the future. The human brain is wired to find problems, but if you don't direct it, it will create problems that don't even exist. That's why people drown in negativity. They let their thoughts run wild with no control. But once you take action, your mind is forced to focus on the task in front of you. It shifts away from the endless loop of doubt and worry and onto something productive. This is why relentless action is so important. You don't give negativity the time or room to grow. Every time you feel negativity pulling you down, you have a choice. You can sit and feed it, or you can rise and fight it with movement. If you feel hopeless, take one small action toward your goal. If you feel weak, push yourself physically. Run, lift, train. If you feel stuck, take a step, even if it's not perfect. even if you don't have the full plan figured out. Progress, no matter how small, is always stronger than standing still. Action creates evidence that you are not powerless, that you are not stuck, that you still control the direction of your life. Negativity lies by telling you nothing can change, but action proves otherwise. Relentless action means you don't just act once and stop. You keep going, you keep pushing, you keep moving forward no matter how you feel, because negativity doesn't just vanish after one battle. It comes back again and again. If you stop fighting, it will regain strength. The only way to defeat it permanently is through consistency. You take action every day, not just when you feel good, not just when you're motivated, but especially when you don't feel like it. That's when it matters most. Those are the days that define whether you will rise above negativity or fall into its trap. Action doesn't need to be massive at first. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to take a giant leap. And while they wait, negativity grows stronger. Don't wait. Start small if you must, but start now. Make the call, write the page, take the walk, do the workout. Build the habit of acting quickly before negative thoughts talk you out of it. Small actions compound into bigger ones, and soon you create unstoppable momentum. That momentum is your shield against negativity, because it's hard to feel stuck when you are constantly moving forward. When you choose action, you also choose growth. Every time you take action, you gain experience, and every experience teaches you something. Even if you fail, you learn, and learning builds strength. Negativity tells you failure is the end, but action proves failure is feedback, a step on the path, not a dead end. The more you act, the more resilient you become, and resilience is the weapon that destroys negativity at its core. A resilient person cannot be held down by negative thoughts because they know action will always lead them out. You must also understand that negativity feeds on excuses. When you say, "I'll start tomorrow," negativity grows. When you say, "I don't feel ready," negativity grows. When you say, "maybe later," negativity grows. Excuses are fuel for negative thinking, and the only way to burn that fuel out is with relentless action. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for someone else to push you. Act now, in the moment, with what you have. Every excuse you kill with action makes negativity weaker, until it has no room left to live. Relentless action also means being proactive instead of reactive. If you wait until negativity overwhelms you to act, you will always be fighting from behind. But if you build habits of consistent action, you stay ahead of it. You don't wait until the storm arrives. You prepare by moving forward every day. This is how champions operate. They don't wait for negativity to strike. They live in such constant action that negativity has no space to take hold. Their momentum drowns it out. Their daily discipline crushes it before it even gets a chance to grow. Another powerful truth is that action creates evidence of who you are. Negativity tells you that you are weak, lazy, or incapable. But every time you act, you prove the opposite. You build a track record of wins, of progress, of discipline. That track record becomes your proof, your personal evidence that you are strong, capable, and relentless. The more evidence you build through action, the less believable negativity becomes. Eventually, it has no voice left because your actions drown it out. You cannot underestimate the importance of physical action as well. When negativity attacks, it often paralyzes you, trapping you in your head. But the moment you move your body, everything changes. Exercise, movement, physical effort, all of these release energy, clear your mind, and shift your focus. That's why training your body is not just about physical health. It is mental warfare. A strong body supports a strong mind, and movement is one of the fastest ways to fight negativity. Relentless action also inspires others. Negativity is not just personal. It spreads to those around you, but so does action. When you move, when you fight, when you push forward, you show others what's possible. You lead by example, and your energy lifts them. This not only strengthens you, but creates an environment where negativity struggles to survive. Surround yourself with others who take action, and together you create a force that negativity cannot penetrate. There will always be voices, internal and external, that tell you to stop, that say you are wasting your time, that try to pull you back into doubt. Those voices will never disappear completely, but they only have power if you stand still and listen. If you are moving, if you are acting, if you are pressing forward relentlessly, their noise fades into the background. You silence them not with arguments, but with results. You silence them by showing, not telling. Relentless action is about building a lifestyle, not a moment. It's about committing to movement, progress, and discipline every single day. It's about living in a state where negativity cannot root itself because you are too busy moving forward, too busy building, too busy creating. You replace the poison of negative thoughts with the energy of purposeful action. You stop thinking about what could go wrong and start doing what will move you closer to what can go right. You don't negotiate with negativity, you don't debate it, you don't sit in it. You fight it with relentless, unstoppable, unshakable action. Control your mind, control your life. Everything you experience, everything you achieve, everything you become begins inside your mind. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act shapes the life you create. Most people believe life is controlled by outside forces, circumstances, luck, opportunities, other people. But the truth is, the ultimate control lies within your own thoughts. Your mind is the command center, and if you don't master it, then it will master you. A mind left undisciplined becomes a prison filled with fear, doubt, and excuses. But a mind under control becomes a weapon, sharp and powerful, capable of building a life of strength, success, and fulfillment. To control your mind, you must first become aware of it. Most people go through life without realizing how many of their thoughts are automatic, how many of them are negative, how many of them are sabotaging their progress. They wake up and immediately allow their mind to drift into worry, regret, or distraction. They don't control their focus, they let it wander, but awareness is the first step. You must become conscious of your thoughts. Watch them, question them, ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me, pushing me forward or pulling me back? The moment you begin to observe your mind, you begin to take control of it. Once you are aware, the next step is discipline. Your mind is like a wild horse. It will run wherever it wants if you don't hold the reins. Discipline is about taking those reins and guiding it where you want to go. This means setting intentions every single day. Before the world pulls at you, you decide what you will focus on, what you will achieve, what kind of energy you will bring. When you set the tone, you program your mind instead of letting the environment program it for you. A disciplined mind does not react to every distraction. It stays locked on the target. Controlling your mind also means mastering your self-talk. The words you repeat to yourself are like commands, and your subconscious follows them whether you realize it or not. If you constantly tell yourself you are weak, unlucky, or incapable, your mind will create behaviors to match that identity. But if you command yourself with strength, if you repeat, I am capable, I am focused, I am relentless, your mind begins to accept those commands as truth. Over time, your self-talk builds your self-image, and your self-image controls your actions. Change your words, and you change your world. Focus is another weapon of control. A scattered mind produces scattered results. People fail not because they don't have potential, but because they waste their energy on things that don't matter. If you want to control your life, you must control your focus. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Spend it on problems and problems grow. Spend it on possibilities and opportunities grow. Training focus is about saying no to distractions, no to negativity, no to the endless noise that pulls you off course. It's about building the ability to lock in on your mission and not let go until it is complete. Your emotions are also tied to your mind, and if you don't control them, they will control you. Fear, anger, frustration, sadness. These are natural feelings, but they should never be allowed to dictate your decisions. A controlled mind feels emotions, but doesn't become enslaved by them. It acknowledges them, then chooses action based on discipline rather than reaction. This is what separates leaders from followers. Most people are slaves to their emotions, rising and falling depending on how they feel in the moment. But a person who controls their mind acts according to vision, not mood. Another part of control is visualization. Your mind cannot tell the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. That is why the greatest achievers use visualization as a tool. They see the outcome in their mind before it happens. They rehearse success in their thoughts until it feels inevitable. This is not fantasy, it is training. Just as athletes train their muscles, they train their minds to expect victory. By controlling the images you focus on, you guide your subconscious to pull you toward the result you want. Habits are the physical proof of mental control. Every habit you create either strengthens your mind or weakens it. Discipline in small habits, waking up early, training your body, reading, working on your craft, creates discipline in your mind. It teaches your brain that you are in charge, that you will do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce mental control. Each time you break one, you weaken it. The accumulation of these choices over time defines the strength of your mindset. Controlling your mind also requires controlling your environment. What you surround yourself with influences your thoughts more than you realize. The conversations you engage in, the content you consume, the people you keep close, all of these shape the patterns of your thinking. If you surround yourself with negativity, laziness, and doubt, your mind will reflect it. If you surround yourself with ambition, discipline, and positivity, your mind will absorb that too. Control is not only about what happens inside your head, but also about what you allow into it. There is power in repetition. Just like lifting weights over and over builds muscle, repeating thoughts and actions builds mental strength. Affirmations, daily goals, constant focus on your vision. All of these are ways of programming your mind through repetition. The more you repeat a thought, the deeper it embeds itself into your identity. Control is not achieved in a single moment. It is built through consistent training, day after day, until strength becomes automatic. You must also accept responsibility. A person who blames everything on outside forces has no control. They give away their power to circumstances, to luck, to other people. But when you take full ownership of your thoughts and actions, you claim control. You stop saying life is happening to me and start saying life is responding to me. This shift puts you in the driver's seat. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom, because it gives you the power to change. When you control your mind, challenges become opportunities. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, you see them as tests to strengthen you. Instead of seeing failure as the end, you see it as a lesson. This shift is everything, because life will never be free of problems. But with control of your mind, problems stop being threats and start being stepping stones. The same circumstance that destroys one person can build another, depending entirely on the control of the mind. The greatest battles are always internal. The fight is not out there, it is in here, and the warrior who learns to master his own mind becomes untouchable. External circumstances may change, storms may come, setbacks may happen, but a controlled mind remains steady. It decides how to interpret events. It decides how to respond. It decides what meaning to assign to everything. That power is the ultimate freedom, because no matter what happens around you, you remain in charge of yourself. Control your mind, control your life is not a slogan, it is the foundation of strength. If your mind is weak, your life will reflect weakness. If your mind is strong, your life will reflect strength. Every achievement, every victory, every transformation begins with the decision to take command of your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, and your actions. Control is not given, It is taken through discipline, through awareness, through daily practice, until your mind becomes your greatest ally instead of your greatest enemy.